Hello, I'm Tara Brabazon, and it's my great pleasure to be talking with Steve Redhead about his new book, Football and Accelerated Culture, This Modern Sporting Life. And this book is shortly to be published by Routledge. Now, Steve, I absolutely love hearing how books are written, particularly by academics. I think that private writing culture of academics we don't talk about very much. So could you tell me how Football and Accelerated Culture was written, why it was written, and also where it was written?
Yes, I'm fascinated by how people write books too, and this is my 16th book, and in some ways I've actually quite enjoyed this one. I think it's always quite difficult to produce something which is current, and that's what I was trying to do, even though it was written over a period of years. And I was looking particularly at what Paul Virilio calls the city of the instant, or futurism of the moment. And the work in the book actually utilises theorists like Paul Virilio, but particularly Jean Baudrillard, Slavoj Žižek, Alain Badiou, Jacques Lacan, in trying to produce satisfactory concepts which explain the city of the instant as far as global football culture is concerned. And I think that's quite an interesting aspect of the writing, because it was written basically in New South Wales in Australia, which is where we live. But it was written by coming into work at Charles State University from my office at home, often quite early in the morning, getting responses from people all around the world, through email or through Twitter or whatever, in that city of the instant. And I was then incorporating it very quickly into work that I wrote in my office at home. Now, in some ways, when I first moved to Australia, that was what we were doing when we were living in Western Australia.
A decade ago.
I think it was different technologically. Somehow I feel more connected to this group of scholars who I benefited tremendously from. It's all my own work, but I've really benefited from that city of the instant. And the book itself, reflexively, as the title suggests, is about accelerated culture, or the city of the instant, or the futurism of the moment. I called the Brazil Soccer World Cup in 2014 the first Twitter World Cup, even though that's technically not true. It actually works, and I think something is happening in social media land and the virtual, which we haven't really captured before, particularly in the area of sport and leisure studies, sociology of sport, physical cultural studies.
And it is quite amazing that this is your 16th book, and yet this is the first book that really had that Twitter engagement, that Twitter conversation. So literally you would be on Twitter the night before while you're writing the book, wake up the next morning, arrive at work, have the feedback and pump that immediately back into the book. So I love the idea that you've got this new media formation, this accelerated media through Twitter, and yet old media in terms of books are benefiting from that fast engagement. So great luck with the book, Steve.
Thank you.